Um, Hi, I'm Paul Florsheim. I'm a professor in the Zilber School of Public Health at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and I'm a clinical psychologist. So I developed a program which we call the Young Parenthood Program, which is intended to provide counseling for young expectant mothers and their partners, the fathers of their babies, to support them across the transition to parenthood by providing communication counseling to help them work together to take care of their babies, to resolve conflicts that may arise in their relationship, so that they're able to create a more stable home environment for their developing children. And we define the family pretty flexibly, with the idea that many of these couples won't necessarily stay together as romantic couples. They won't necessarily get married, but they'll still be able to work together for the sake of their children. Well, with both adolescents and with young adults, more and more young people are not getting married when they decide to have a baby, or when they have a baby by accident. And so the family environment has become significantly less stable over time, both in the United States but also in Peru. And this program is intended to sort of provide some institutional support provided through prenatal clinics, or through organizations like the Peruvian National Institute of Mental Health, to in some ways address that the institution of marriage isn't providing these young families with the kind of support that it did in our parents' generation or our grandparents' generation. There needs to be sort of some formal and systematic approach to helping to support these young families. So as far as child mortality goes, I don't really think that a program like this will necessarily reduce child mortality. I mean, we actually have looked at recently in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We looked at whether our program, the Young Parenthood Program, had an impact on high-risk pregnancy and birth outcomes, and we did not find that there were effects of the program on reducing low birth weight, early delivery, preeclampsia. However, we did find that it helped when couples experience those things, low birth weight or premature birth. It's a stressor for the family, and we did find that the program did help them manage those stressors more effectively, so that they did better if they were in the program. My own belief about this is that with infant mortality, it's often more about getting prenatal care early, but also about sort of the poverty that affects many of these families. And so we're not able to address those sort of larger social contextual issues that prevent women from getting the care they need, even before the pregnancy. Well, I think I'm really pleased that they're interested in that the National Institute of Mental Health in Peru is interested in testing this program. I mean, I'm very pleased that they're treating this as a research study rather than just as an implementation, because I think we need to really see, does this work in a Peruvian context? And My recommendation is to start with a simple design and a clear focus, and to spend the time with training, spend the time thinking about what kinds of adaptations would be needed for the Peruvian context, and to do it on a relatively contained area, a certain part of, say, Lima, before trying to expand and developing the skills, sort of figuring out what works, what doesn't, and then sort of carefully taking steps to perhaps go to the highlands or to go to the jungle areas, but to take it one step at a time.